Temporary fix done. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. You join me from, well, I was about to say from Dover, but you can only just see Dover in the background. I really wanted to start the video actually in Dover at the front of the queue to get onto the ferry, but I was so far behind schedule. I actually got into the port 20 minutes before the ship's meant to take off. So I was so late that I got to the queue. There were no other vehicles there at all, and they actually beckoned me across immediately. I didn't even put my feet on the floor. I think I was one of the last vehicles to actually get on. So it's 11:20 now on a Monday morning. My mission, I have to get to Barcelona by 2 p.m. on Wednesday, so I've got just over 2 days to get there. I want to do this trip as cheaply as possible because I've spent so much recently on travel. I want to see how cheaply can you actually do it. So I've turned off tolls, so I won't pay 1 penny in any French peages or any tolls. I have brought my wingman of the road tent, so I'll be sleeping in the tent and I won't have any accommodation costs. The ferry itself to get from Dover to Calais, just £40. And you may think I'm stupid here, I did a quote to have a look at breakdown cover, European breakdown cover. That was £130 for, I did it for 10 or 11 days because I have no idea how long I'm going to be away. It's a one-way ticket I've got. It was £130. I thought, no. The whole point of this is to see how cheaply I can do it, so I will go without breakdown cover, so there's no breakdown cover at all. I am so excited. It's one of my favourite things to do. Drive down the M20 motorway, get to the south of England and jump on that ferry. Adventure awaits. Monica's last words to me as I left this morning were, I'm so excited for you to be leaving. I then said goodbye to Monica's mum Rasa, and her last words to me were, make sure you build the IKEA cupboard when you get back. So it's lovely, lovely to feel wanted. I'll do a full touring setup as soon as I get onto dry land, or as soon as I get onto solid ground in France, because I've got the tent and some other things as well. I was actually delighted with how well it works, so I'll do a full rundown as soon as I get into France. Apart from that, I will see if there's a cafe or somewhere for me to get food, because for some reason P&O have closed all of their cafes and there's literally nowhere to get any food or drink. So I have to see if I can find somewhere, but that doesn't even matter. I'm just so excited for this road trip. I've been riding for 2 hours now, and the thing that surprises me is the roads are tiny. I'm a little bit worried I'm not getting anywhere at all, because I've been going along borderline single tracks like this, where if there's a car coming the other way, you actually have to pull over. They're so small. Surely the roads can't be like this the whole way to Barcelona. Probably averaging about 50, maybe 60 kilometers an hour, but I'm borderline worried that I've just spent the past 2 hours and it's nearly 5 o'clock and I've got completely nowhere, but we'll keep going. It's lovely scenery. The difference with this and the motorway is you see a huge amount of France. I'm just going through little village after little village. I just can't believe how small the roads are. Right, I'll do a gear for the day. This jacket is the Ride & Sons Arrow jacket. I love it. It's sand coloured, and I don't have many sand coloured jackets. Fully loaded. Back armour, elbow armour, shoulder armour, and may have to move the mic for this. It's also got a removable inner thermal lining. I'll remove the mic because I wanted to show you this. This is a bit of a game changer for me. Because this gilet vest from a company called Carhartt, it means that it keeps your body completely warm when you're wearing a jacket, but just frees up your arms nicely when you're not wearing your biking jacket. Plus, 2 pockets there, 1 pocket inside as well. It means that you've actually got a huge amount of extra storage. If you put your jacket in the panniers, for example, and you head off for a nice day exploring the area, you've got a huge amount of extra storage. A chocolate bar in there, a wallet in there, a phone somewhere else. It's really, really good. I'm actually a huge fan of this now. So that is a brilliant new bit of kit that I've recently got. Hood jeans SK11, these are the slim fits and they're the highest safety rating you can possibly get for a pair of motorcycle jeans. I've worn these for this trip because they are the most rugged, toughest jeans that I've ever tried before, as well as 3 bikers whizzing along there, as well as fitting for France, Furigan Melbourne boots, French company. These are just a really, really nice looking pair of stealth black boots, plus AGV X3000 helmet. Very, very comfortable helmet at motorway speeds and, well, in reality all speeds. Very, very thin padding as well, easy to take on and off. So that is, it's one of my go-to helmets when I need something really, really comfortable. Showed this in a recent video. That is the XLMOTO bag. £25 that was when it was on sale. I don't know if it's still that, but that's a great jacket. Great jacket. That's a great, great bag. Just really, really rugged. And it looks so good. And finally, Indian motorcycle gloves. I'll be honest, these are probably the least protective motorcycle gloves that I've got, but they look really good and they're comfy. Right, I will flip the camera and show you the entire touring setup for the Bonneville. This is, I'm sure, the best touring setup I've ever had on any bike, full stop. So, where should we start? We'll go from the front. Of course, I've said many times now, with the mirrors back on standard makes a huge difference. Okay, let's go with the Hepcombe-Becker panniers first. So, these are the Hepcombe-Becker Cibo rugged panniers. They are lockable, so you can put your valuables in there and lock them, and they each lock just there as well to the bike, so they are secured to the bike. I've then got, this is just a standard travel bag that I've got, and you can see I've got 2 straps here which are rock straps, and this whole setup I've got here are attached just by these 2 simple rock straps. Unclip there, and everything comes off. I've kept it as simple as possible. This is my Wingman of the Road Goose tent, a tent specifically designed for motorcycles. It sleeps 1 person, it's snug, it is not big and it's not cheap, but it's very easy to set up and it looks great. And also I just bought a yoga exercise mat in case I fancy doing any press-ups in the morning, with essential bit of kit, QUADLOCK setup there, so I can know exactly where to go with the vibration dampener. That, of course, like I said earlier in a video a week ago only actually, that is where I can turn on and off the current to protect the battery, and that is the full setup. Of course, I've got the king and queen seat on as well, and well, I could ride for mile after mile like this. The fact that it's got the brown bag there as well, that's a proper backrest for me, so it's a nice back support, and my backpack there, my XLMOTO backpack, actually leans on top of that so I don't have any weight at all. found a spot for the night. It is 8:15. I've done 360 miles. And the cost after day one has been £43 on fuel and £40 for the ferry. So £83. I could have gone longer. It's just knowing I need to actually set up the tent. Thought I may as well do it. Plus the fact that it actually gets pretty cold, even though I'm only about, I think, 30 miles north of Paris. But it does drop off the temperature in the evening. So I'll set up here. Bonneville parked up there, everything's been completely faultless. I found a spot right here next to a couple of benches. So I'll set the tent up, have a quick bite to eat. I stopped at a supermarket just for a few little bits and pieces, but everything's perfect. Actually, you do make okay time. Well, it's not frustrating, but it's a bit worrying when you're stopping and going through tiny villages at about 30 miles an hour, but actually in reality, if you just accept you go a bit slower, it's okay. It's not ridiculously slower than the Peages, for example, and you see so much more of the country. So it's been a lovely ride. Well, I timed that just out of curiosity because I haven't used the Wing Manifold tent in about a year now, and it took me 6 minutes to put it up, even though I was completely rusty and have actually forgotten largely how to do it. So it may not be the biggest tent on the market, but if you're looking for something extremely practical, very easy to set up and put away again, especially in my situation, if you just need a very simple night's sleep before you hit the road again, then this is a very good option. Right, I'm going to have a bite to eat, then watch a bit of Netflix in a tent because I've got a 10-hour ride tomorrow. So I'm going to get as much sleep as I possibly can. I will see you in the morning. Well, that was a brilliant night's sleep. I probably had, in reality, 5.5 hours uninterrupted sleep, but it's such a nice feeling waking up with your tent right next to you in a forest. It's amazing. So today I've got I need to do 1,076 kilometers in order to get to Barcelona. My hope today is to get that down to 400 kilometers. So for the final day, I'll just have 400 kilometers to ride. It's 10 to 7 now. Just can't wait. It's just a brilliant way to wake up here in the forest, knowing that you've got such a long ride through France, and it's off the motorway, so you just get to see so much. And the thing I realized yesterday, you don't have that fatigue when it's constant beautiful village after beautiful village and winding road after winding road. It's all brilliant. You don't have that motorway monotony, so you don't really get as intense a level of tiredness. So I didn't find I needed to stop, so I'm just looking forward to everything. There's no hard slog with this. Every mile is brilliant. So put the gloves on, put the helmet on and head off. I want to do 3 hours of a big ride now in order to really get myself into a good position for the rest of the day. So I'm going to really smash out the mileage from probably 7 o'clock till 10, then maybe stop for breakfast. I've had something happen to me that's never happened before. The foot peg has completely come loose. So I've been riding around with my leg, or with my foot balanced on that. And if I can't figure out a way to tighten it, with the 2 screwdrivers I've got, then I'm going to have to ride around for about 2,000 miles with my foot on the side of the engine. Okay, temporary fix done. I think it should just about last, as long as I keep checking every 50 miles or so. On a positive note, the weather's just getting better and better, and the further south that I get, I can feel it getting warmer and warmer and warmer. It's, I think now, 950 kilometers to go. It's about 9:30 in the morning. I'll do about another 30 minutes riding before I stop and look for somewhere for breakfast. But it's just getting better and better. It's glorious. And all of these little French villages, they're all so damn beautiful. Well, it's 6:40 and I've got 675 kilometers left to go. And I said by the end of today, I wanted to get that down to about 400 kilometers. I'm massively, massively behind schedule. I'm having right now what is my first proper meal since I left. Of course, I still haven't showered yet, and that's been about 2 days now. Scenery's lovely, everything's going extremely well, but my Lord, you cover ground much, much slower. It may have said it's only 4 hours slower turning off tolls, but in reality, my guess would be it's closer to 7 hours or something, because it's lovely scenery, but with that, you know, you're stuck behind a tractor sometimes, you're stuck at traffic lights. It adds a significant chunk to the journey, but I'm in a lovely town now, having some dinner, then I'll head off to Lidl, get some water. But it's the first time now where I think it's going to be genuinely tough to make it in time for 2 or 3 o'clock tomorrow in Barcelona, because in reality I am fairly close to mid-France still, and that, I just had a look for the first time, that is a slightly worrying thought, because that, don't know if you can see it, that's how far I've still got to go, and that's where I am. It's going to be interesting. I think I've probably got another 2 hours good riding left, maybe even only 1.5, but I'll push it as much as possible so tomorrow isn't some 4 a.m. start or something like that. Loving every second, scenery incredible. It's much, much more enjoyable than the motorway. It's so much more enjoyable, but it's just the fact that when you're on a tight time constraint like I am, yeah, you can feel you're not getting anywhere as quickly, but I've loved every second of it. Right, I'm going to tuck into these, and then I've got to hit the road again for one final push. Okay, pretty much everything packed up here. I'll be honest, I was actually quite cold yesterday. The wingman of the road is good, but it's not perfect. The sleeping bag isn't the warmest, so I was having to wear my jacket and jeans, and still I was cold. And if you're any taller than me, 6'1" or above, then you will be too tall for it, because my head touches the top and my feet touch the bottom. So just a little bit of advice. 6'1" or above, you're probably on the borderline with it size-wise. Right, okay, I've got 7 hours and I think just under 600 kilometers. I think maybe 550 kilometers to go. It's 6 a.m. and I need to be in Barcelona by 2 o'clock to meet the Airbnb person. So that means that I'll be riding non-stop without even 1 minute break. Knowing how long behind schedule I am, I'm freaking out now. So I will literally be doing the next 7 hours non-stop. I won't be able to stop for food. I won't even be able to, probably won't even be able to film, which is such a shame because I'll be going into Spain, but I'll do the best I can. Oh, it's going to be really, really tight. So I'm going to actually head off in about 5 minutes, but it's a glorious, glorious day. The setting is lovely. I'm just in the edge of a trucker service station here, but I've got this spot all to myself with beautiful rolling hills that side. It is a glorious area. I've arrived, well, in Spain. I crossed the border about 15 minutes ago, and that last hour to get to the Spanish border or deep southern France, the temperature changes. It is now a searing heat. Even when you're doing 80 miles an hour on the motorway, you can feel it's hot air now as opposed to nice cooling air. I am stinking hot, so I'm going to have to get rid of a few layers because I'm absolutely sweltering. It's stunning, stunning weather. I am 90 minutes away now from Barcelona, or 120 kilometers. So I'm just stopping here for a quick loo break, get some water as well, because I think I'm losing about half a kilo of sweat an hour now. The first thing that happened to me as I got to this petrol station, an Irishman walks over to me from the other side of the car park. Lovely brand new S-Class Mercedes, 4 adults in the car, and he says to me, "Listen, I'm so embarrassed." Actually, I won't do an Irish accent, that's pathetic. "Listen, I'm so embarrassed. I've just lost my credit card." And I'm thinking, oh, okay, yeah, let's hear it, because deep down I know this happened to me when I was 12. I got conned like this. And he said, "I'm so embarrassed. I just lost my credit card. You couldn't help me out, could you?" And I said, "Absolutely not, sorry." And he said, "Look, if you could just help me out a bit, I've got my credit card details. I can easily pay you back tomorrow." "Oh, yeah, sure. Just, I tell you what, I'll give you my card. I'll give you my card, and then you send it in the post. That's perfect." Oh, so anyway, after about 20 seconds of him giving different scenarios how he'd pay me back, he eventually left in his brand new S-Class Mercedes with 4 fully grown adults in the car. Lovely welcome to Spain. So anyway, I'm going to run in for some water and then I'm back on the road. I made it. La Sagrada Familia, Barcelona city centre, just to prove I actually did it. And the Bonneville, right there. It's been an unforgettable trip. You know, I could have flown, but this is an experience that I'll never ever forget. And turning off tolls, I mean, if you've got more time, even turn off motorways, go one more. You just get to experience so much more of the country and see so many things along your way that you would never see if you're just on the motorway. You know, a group of men playing bowls on a dusty surface, a man sitting outside having his cappuccino in the morning in a little village, a couple, cigarettes in hand, kissing on a corner, just everything in between, little Renault 4s driving around, and of course the beautiful scenery that you don't see on the motorway. All of that, it's a visual overload non-stop for the entire 2.5 days. It is 3:30 now, so I'm an hour and a half late. So it's 3:30 on Wednesday. I left at 7 a.m. on Monday. I will be completely honest, I have not showered since Sunday now, so things are getting a bit ridiculous. I'll get to my apartment soon and have a shower, but having a tent strapped to the back of your motorbike, it's that feeling of freedom times 10. It really is incredible, because it means that there are no plans at all for the day. You have no idea where you're going to be sleeping. You just sleep when you decide that you're tired enough, or when the sun sets and you don't want to ride anymore. It's a very, very special feeling of freedom. It really has been amazing. Cost-wise, the total cost for everything, in fact, let me make the most of that, La Sagrada Familia. The total cost for everything, £181. That, when I say everything, that's fuel and the ferry ticket. The ferry ticket was £40, so the fuel to get here, £140 in fuel. So that was the total cost. Very reasonable for such an unforgettable experience. Thank you so much. Got a lot of these cycle lanes, want to make sure I'm not run over. Thank you so much everyone for coming along. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you know, I'm just so pumped after the trip. I'm not remotely tired. I want to get out, have a beer and just soak it all in. Have a brilliant week all, and I will see you all in the next one.